Hi everyone, my name is Sarah. You're welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are recreating this crop top palazzo pants with two side pockets. I folded my fabric into two, both front and back. To know the actual fabric to be cut out, you have to use your hip measurements. So this palazzo pants is going to be having 2 inches band at the top. Let's start with the front part. So I'm going ahead to minus 2 inches for the band at the upper part. Then I'm going ahead to mark my cross line. To get your cross line, that is your hip divided by 4 plus 2 for high waist. Now marking my hip line 9 inches. Then I'm marking my trouser length 42 inches plus 2.5 inches for folding. So I'm drawing a straight line on my hip line. My hip divided by 4 is 9.5. Then I'll be marking it on my cross line 9.5. Then I'll go ahead to my waist to measure 9.5 inches plus 1 inch sewing allowance. Then I'm drawing a straight line. To get your cross extension, place your tape rule on the hip line or the cross line. Measure what you have there, 9.5 inches divided by 2, then divide the answer by 2 again. That will be your cross extension. For my round waist measurement, I'm using 7.5 inches. So I will go ahead to use my curve ruler to trace it down to the hip line. I'm using my curve ruler to trace out the cross extension. Then I will measure what I have on the cross line and place it on the trouser length. I mark 15 inches as my trouser wideness. You can go ahead and mark more than 15 inches. You can do 17, 18, 19, 20 as you wish, but 15 inches is okay for my trouser wideness. And I'm drawing a straight line. Let's go ahead to cut the excess fabric. Then we are done cutting, so I'm trimming the upper parts. So I'm going ahead to use the front part to cut the back. So I added 3 inches plus sewing allowance to my cross extension. I'm adding 1.5 inches straight down, 1 inches for convenience, half inches for sewing allowance. Then I'm drawing a straight line. From my waistline, I'm going in with 1.5 inches. Then I'm going up with 1.5 inches. So I'll be going out 1.5 inches. So I'm drawing a straight line. I'm cross-checking the front, waist and the back to be sure it's the same measurement. Then I'm going out by 1.5 inches. Then at the cross line, I'm going out with 1 inches. So I'm doing that straight down, 1 inches straight down. Going out with 1.5 inches or 2 inches will enable the board to sit well. And I'm drawing a straight line. I'm connecting the 1.5 inches to 1 inches as a cross line. So I'm marking my zipper allowance 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So I'm drawing a straight line, half inches for seam allowance. Let's cut the excess fabric out. So I'm going ahead to mark my pocket. I'm marking 3 inches. You can mark 2 inches, 2.5 inches, but I want my pocket to be obvious, so I'm going with 3 inches, but 2 inches is better. I marked 3 inches at the top, then 6.5 inches down. So guys, let's go ahead to the top part. I folded my fabric into 2 already. Then I'm marking out my bust point, and the top length is a crop top, so I want my crop top to be 16, so I marked 16 as the top length. So this top is going to be a free top, no shaping. So I'm marking my shoulder, then the neckline 3.5 inches. I mark 3.5 inches. Then for shoulder slope, I mark 1 inches. Then I divided my armor into 2. I mark the middle point, which is 4. I mark 4 inches. Then I'm cuffing out my armhole. I'm cuffing the line to join the shoulder level. Then I marked my bust 8.5, same 8.5 at the top length, plus 2 inches allowance. As my top length, I've already added 2.5 inches for folding. I'm not going to be using lining for this top. I'm going to be turning in with hemming gum. So let's cut out the excess fabric. So I'm not going to be cutting the actual armhole and the neck. I'm not going to be cutting them out. So we are placing it on the other fabric already folded into 2. So we are using it to cut the back part. I'm marking my zipper allowance 1.5 inches. So let's go ahead to cut the back top. I'm going ahead to mark my neckline 1.5 inches. I don't like my neckline to be too low at the back, so I cut 1.5 inches. Let's cut the front neckline. Then I go down by 3.5 inches. That is 3.5 inches by the side and downward. So I'm cutting out my front armhole. I'm opening up the back zipper side. I folded my fabric into 2 to cut the front facing. I'm going ahead to fold my fabric into 2 to cut facing for the back. Make sure your facing is same size with your shoulder. It makes it neater that way, like exact size with the shoulder. Then I open up the facing. I'm so sorry guys, I lost the sleeve clip when I was editing. So let's go ahead to cut out our pocket. So I've already folded the fabric into 2. So I'm using the length of 16, the wideness 14. So I'm using 14 inches for the wideness, then 16 for the length. So I'm marking it out, drawing a straight line. So I'm cutting it out. So I'm going ahead to place my front trouser, the part that I've already cut out as pockets. I'm placing it on the fabric to cut the shape out. At the upper part of the pocket, I came down by 1 inches to be on the safe side. So later on, if there is any excess fabric at the upper part, I'm going to be trimming it out. So I've gone ahead to close the crush line and fix the pocket. Watch me closely as I'm closing up the pocket. So the extra fabric at the top, I'm going to trim it out later on. Then secure your pocket this way, then cut the excess fabric at the top. So I've gone ahead to secure my pocket. Everything is in place. I'm trimming out the extra 1 inches that I left at the top. So guys, my trouser is ready to be joined together. So I couldn't film the band part, there was no light. So here's our palazzo and the pocket.